Alright all, and welcome back to a new video, continuing our series Under the Radar here, as we try to get a bit of content going, a bit of content moving during these tough times of COVID-19. Hopefully we'll be hitting our peak soon, both in Ireland and England, and therefore we can start recovering. Obviously some news with certain flat fixtures being rearranged, Ascot announcing it won't be having any public there. It hasn't been announced whether it's going to be completely cold or not. Hopefully Ascot can still go ahead even behind closed doors, and we can still kind of get our teeth into the majority of the flat season. That's the reason for our hope and optimism. And last week, or not last week, it was a couple of days ago's video was on 5 3-year-olds that you mightn't have kind of really considered going into this year's campaign, and today's video is about older horses, so 4-year-old plus. The majority of them are 4/5 years old, and hopefully you mightn't have quite thought about them in kind of group contexts, and maybe they can go and pay their way, as I say, in listed/group 3, maybe even group 2 contests. So like, that's the similar one with the 3-year-olds. I'm not saying these are going to be absolute world beaters, but hopefully they can go pay their way. We've got 5 horses once again, and we've only got 3 trainers actually. We've got 2 from 2 Irish trainers who often slip a tad under the radar. Starting off with a Mick Halford trained filly in the shape of Surrounding. Now Surrounding's been one of these, she's actually a mare now at this stage. She's a 7-year-old mare, and she's been around quite a long time, you know, doing the job. But she was really quite good last year. She won a Group 3, I think, in the middle of the summer, and she won a listed race at Dundalk at the end of the year. Now, she's gone over to contest some hot races in Maidan, alongside another horse I'll be discussing with Mick Halford. And she's done all right. Like, her form figures of 7.446 over there probably, you know, don't tell the full story of how she's been running, but she seems to be knocking on the door, and I do think she's just an absolute stalwart of these kind of Group 3/listed races at around a mile and a quarter sometimes. You know, I just think there's money still to be made with her, you know, backing her in those sort of races. She is what she is at this stage. She's not going to get any better, but at the moment she's not showing any signs that she's getting any worse either, and therefore she could well be one to keep an eye on, Surrounding in Group 3/listed races. Moving on to Dennis Hogan, who's our other Irish trainer. Now, he was in the headlines a couple of weeks ago for a slightly dodgy bit of dealing with Tony the Gent and Yufton, but to be fair to Dennis Hogan, as much as that can sometimes happen at that low grade level, he is very good at progressing fairly average seeming horses into being good horses, and no bigger one than last year with a horse called Make a Challenge, who was originally rated 73 when he won his first race for Dennis Hogan, and he got him up to a rating of 111, peaking with a 5th in the Champions Day Sprint at Ascot, behind Don Juan Triumphant. The ground slightly went against him that day as well. He was back out a couple of weeks ago, actually, before all of this happened, in Doha, running in a Group 3 over 6 furlongs, and came 6th. Didn't seem to run too badly, probably might have needed that run. That was his first run since Ascot, so he was off for 4 or 5 months at that stage, and maybe he needed that. Obviously, you're taking it on risk that perhaps he's found his ceiling and he mightn't be able to do it at that Group 1, Group 2 level. But I think this horse was really so progressive last year, and he ran so well in that sprint race at Ascot. He travelled there as if he was going to come and win the race, didn't quite find it. Maybe you could make a point that that was just the level of class he was running at. You could make a point it was a long season. I'm not so sure, but I'd be taking a chance on Make a Challenge that he could contest in some of the good sprints this year, both sides of the Irish Sea. And another horse for Dennis Hogan that hopefully will be doing that is a horse called Skeptical, who's been in the news because he was only picked up, I think, for $2,500 by Connections, and has turned into being a bit of a revelation, this gelded Godolphin cast-off, and he's won 3 times at Dundalk by 3.5 lengths, 2 lengths, and last time out by 6.5 lengths off a mark of 101. That shows that he really should be stepping up into group class next time out, and he looks a really, really good horse over that 5-6 furlong trip, and I'm really interested to see how he can go in Group 3/Group 2 races. And the second one for Mick Halford, so taking us to 4 Irish horses, there is an English horse to finish off, is Mick Halford's other Maidan charge this winter in the shape of Sincere. Now, I'm a big fan of Sincere here. His form over in Maidan was 2-5-1 after being 1-1-2 over in Ireland. Won a Cork Maiden when he was 25-1, then won at Dundalk in a winner's race, and then was just touched off second in a handicap. His first 2 runs at Maidan looked like he was going to win the race and didn't quite go through with the job, but he got the job done last time out. He's a mile 2 horse, going places in the Aga Khan colours, and I think this is a seriously good horse. I would even say this horse actually could make up into a Group 1 performer by the end of this year. And the final horse is a filly over with Andrew Balding, formerly trained by Noel Meade, a filly called Encapsulation, who went over to Andrew Balding midway through last year, having run a couple of nice races for Noel Meade. Came second at Sandown on debut for Andrew Balding and ended up finishing the season winning the Doonside Cup at Ayr, which is a listed race. She looks like a filly that has a bit of potential. She's rated 102. She has a listed race under her belt at this stage. She's staying in training as a 4-year-old, and hopefully she may be able to go on and claim honours in maybe Group 3 company, or certainly once again back at listed company. She seems to be a very good filly. She ran Pink Dogwood within a half length near the start of last season for Noel Meade, so she's got a decent enough level of form there to look at, and hopefully she can be progressive like the others. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel down below if you're new to these videos. I'm keeping on trying to pump these out, and of course give me what your dark older horse for the flat campaign might be. Maybe there's something that you think. There was a few great comments with the 3-year-olds in the last video, so hopefully you guys can supply them again and we can interact in the comments as per the usual. And until the next time, which will probably be a bit of a handicap video for the flat campaign, I hope you guys stay safe, stay lucky, and I'll see you guys then. Cheers.